From Lakeshore to Amherstburg, LaSalle to Point Pelee, you're driving home with the newsmakers of the day. Welcome back to Windsor Now on AM 800 CKLW, the information station. Here's Melanie DeVoe.
The Institute for Liberal Studies will host the second annual Windsor Liberty Seminar at the University of Windsor. It's an all-day event tomorrow, runs from 9:30 in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And one of the people who's going to be speaking tomorrow is Jim Watkin. He's with Law Enforcement Against Prohibition. He's also a corrections officer just up the road in London. And one of the big questions he's going to attempt to answer is it time to stop the war on drugs? He joins us now for a chat. Hi, Mr. Watkin.
Hi, how you doing, Melanie?
I'm very well, thank you.
Just to correct you, I'm no longer a corrections officer, but I work on the street with injection drug users and that sort of thing.
Oh, wow. How long have you been doing that for?
About 7-8 years.
No kidding.
So, yeah.
That must be interesting work.
Very.
Why do you think the war on drugs isn't working?
Well, I think it isn't working just because of the fact that drugs are much more accessible. The profits in them are huge. And despite the fact that there's a huge amount of money put into it to try to disrupt the sale and distribution of substances, it doesn't happen because it's prevalent out there and much more easier to get than ever has been.
So what do we do about it?
Well, I think what LEAP stands for and what we want to do is, or propose to do, is to legalize and regulate all drugs, whether it's heroin, cocaine, or whatever the case may be, including marijuana and all of that. Some of the reasons being that we have huge amounts of profits. It's estimated that the wholesale profit among illicit drug sales and that sort of thing is about $400 billion per year. And none of that is taxed. It goes to organizations that are not recognizing the income and that sort of thing in a legal manner, and takes away a lot of different opportunities that we have as taxpayers and those types of things.
Is there anywhere on earth where the government looks after this sort of thing like that?
There's some things that have changed in Europe. Europe has situations in Holland where things are decriminalized but not legalized, but we also have situations in Switzerland and sometimes in some areas in the UK where heroin is given to people who identify as heroin addicts, and they're on regularly prescribed heroin. And what happens with that is we've seen significant declines in crime that is associated with trying to access substances, and also employment rates have increased among the people that are using these programs and that sort of thing as well.
But if you legalize and regulate it, isn't there a concern that more people might use drugs?
That type of thing has been proven not to exist because of the fact that in Holland, where things are decriminalized and you have better access to certain types of substances, the substance use rates are actually lower than they are in North America, especially if you look at marijuana. Marijuana is one of the prime things. Among individuals that have access to marijuana especially under the age of 18. In Canada, we have about a 26 to 27% use rate among people under the age of 18 in North America, whereas in Holland, you have a use rate of about 12%.
You know what's interesting is there's a news story out today, and it's about some research out of London, England. I don't know if you've seen this today yet or not.
I haven't.
Okay, it says, and I'm quoting right from the Associated Press, new landmark research finds that alcohol and tobacco are more dangerous than some illegal drugs like marijuana or ecstasy, and should be classified as such in legal systems, according to the British study. And it's just totally coincidence that this story hit the news today, and we're talking to you about it. Isn't that something?
Absolutely. I said, any substance can be problematic. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just that we've chosen to identify a couple of them as being legal and others as being illegal. And some of the issues we need to recognize is that our drug laws are quite often steeped in racism. And the first drug law in 1908 in Canada was around trying to put some control on some of the Asian populations in the Vancouver area. So
really,
that's some of the fact and history around our drug laws. laws and that sort of thing. And if we remember what happened with Prohibition in the U.S. and how that was.
Well, I wasn't around then, but I've read about it.
Neither was I. But it's about recognizing the fact that there's a huge amount of criminal intent, criminal profit that's going on around that, and that continues to be here as well. And, look at the amount of profit and who runs it. We don't have any quality control. We don't have any taxation or anything like that around the substances that are hitting the street.
Well, I want to let everybody know that this talk tomorrow, it's free to students. It's $10 for members of the public, which covers lunch. It runs all day from 9:30 till 4, and it's in the Oak Room at Vanier Hall at the university. You can register at liberalstudies.ca. I think it's going to be a great talk tomorrow. I wish I could be there. But I'm glad you talked to us today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Take care, Jim.
Have a great
Bye-bye.
day. Bye-bye.
Jim Watkin, he's with the group Law Enforcement Against Prohibition, also involved tomorrow in the second annual Windsor Liberty Seminar. Will be Brett Skinner, who's Health Policy Director of the Fraser Institute, also Malcolm Dare, who's President of the Society for Quality Education, and Dr. Fred Miller, Professor of Philosophy at Bowling Green State University. So again, if you want to attend, you need to register at www.liberalstudies.ca.